All right, here we go, man. It's Wednesday, and guess what? It's Valentine's Day. So, man, what's this Valentine's thing all about? What does love actually have to do with it? I've got a special guest, Gina Michael, and you aren't going to believe the Gypsy Chick. We'll be right back. Here we go. We have got a great show for you today. I'm super excited about it. I have a special guest that's going to come on here any second now, but I have to introduce her as the Gypsy Chick. But I just want to kind of share something with you because a lot of us, as you know, it's Valentine's today, but some of us don't actually get the hint until it's the last minute. And so last night I was actually on a corporate dinner and I was taking a corporate friend, the president of PayServe, and out to dinner, and we went out to dinner, and I really didn't realize it was Valentine's Day until I saw the crowd at the restaurant. People obviously celebrating early because they couldn't get a reservation for the next night. And I got to tell you, man, what's love got to do with it? I mean, these people are all there together, having dinner, doing a good time, husbands, wives, celebrating the love of their lives. And my date, the president of PayServe, was late. And I caught myself like looking at my watch, like, have I got stood up on Valentine's Day the day before? I don't know. So I started thinking about, what has love got to do with all this stuff that we've got going on? I got to tell you, Gina Michael is a friend of mine I have met through Chad Michael. Chad Michael is my videographer. He is a mentor in many ways, a coach in many ways. And I started watching her podcast several months ago, and I was enamored by her energy level. I was enamored by her wisdom. Now, I would tell you this, on first blush, you would say, you and Gina are oil and water. Well, not oil and water so much, but you would say she has got this energy that is she's like a Tesla. All right. She's and I'm more like, well, of course, I own a Ford Shelby F-150, whatever, 800 horsepower. So you get the idea that I'm coming at you full speed in the morning, and she's coming to you like, let's talk about this stuff. Let's figure out why things are the way they are. We can't just run through every wall we see out there, Todd. And so that's kind of the thing. So I actually, she did a promo for me a while back, and she started to share some of these. And I thought, man, what if I could get her on my show? And so yesterday, we were talking about washing feet and all the things that are going on with He Gets Us. And I had this whole show prepared. And I thought, wow, man, I'm not going to talk about washing feet on Valentine's Day. That would be a weird Valentine's Day for most of us. Well, anyways, we're going to bring Gina on right now. And we're not going to talk about washing feet. We're going to talk about what's love got to do with it. So stand by.
Todd is not only a remarkable, successful 30-year titan in business with having multiple businesses that generate multiplied millions of dollars.
And if that plan happens to be to build $1 million company, which I can help you do.
But he's humble. He's a man of God. He's a family man.
The world's news organizations are built on everything but positivity.
He is an influential entrepreneur and business figure for over 30 years.
I've got to forecast. I've got to pronounce. I've got to project. I've got to share with you my ideas, my vision, my goals for not only myself, but for you.
That's why he's came up with his incredible concept of taking and creating a platform for people that are wired differently.
And you got to understand that your habits of your person and your habits of your business and your habits of your spirituality have to lead to the North Star of who you are. We need to figure out who we want to be in life.
All right. Without further ado, I want to bring on my good friend, Gina Michael, aka the Gypsy Chick. Did you hear the clapping?
I did.
Okay, good. Because sometimes that thing doesn't work, and I'm like standing here, and I'm like, the people are like, they don't know what's going on. So, anyways, I was clapping for Gina Michael and the Gypsy Chick. Did I just say Gypsy Chip?
I think it's okay.
Has that ever happened before?
I don't think so.
You look great. Your camera's perfect.
Thank you.
So she's not the Gypsy Chip. She's the Gypsy Chick. So let's get it right out of the gate. So what does love have to do with it? Now, Gina, I pulled a little fast one on you, didn't I? It's like last night I gave you some idea what we might talk about. And then this morning, how does that make you feel? Because you're a feel person. I want to know, how does that make you feel when I shift gears so abruptly?
Yeah. So first of all, you gave me the topic and I was like, oh my goodness, this is deep. And so I was a little nervous and had some anxiety. So in the middle of the night, which is what happens to me, like 2:33 in the morning, I always get what I call, it's messages from, the Holy Spirit.
Well, let's take them.
So I wake up and he's like, okay, this is like, here's thoughts. Here's what you need to do. So of course I've got all this in my head and I'm like, this is where I'm going with this. This is the direction. And I get up this morning and I write all these notes out. And then in true Todd Saylor, wired differently fashion, I get the text this morning at the 11th hour, changing the whole topic. We're switching it up. And I was like, I should have known this, And I'm like, well, this is it. So, and it's okay. I love it. So here we go.
It's okay. So I think that's one of my favorite. First of all, I literally have never dressed like this dork ever for a show. And I did it for you.
You look great.
I've been always trying to impress you. I don't know if you know that or not, but Chad might tell you that I'm always like, hey, what does Gina think?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And he's like, well, I don't know. Like, come on, you got to ask her what she thinks about the show, what she thinks about this. And he's really casual about it, but I know you have thoughts. And so I just want you to know, man, it's a privilege to have you on here. It's a privilege to really showcase your show and what you're doing. I know it's an upstart show, and I just want to encourage you to keep doing it. So now we did change the topic because of the weirdness. And we changed the topic because I was a dodo bird. Like, I had no idea that today was Valentine's Day, and I was so into the Roman Empire, into the, the washing of the feet and all the serious stuff about Jesus and God and all that stuff. Well, so what I was going to do is I was just kind of set you up here a little bit about Valentine's Day. All right.
Yes.
Because, we don't have a limit. We try to stick around a half hour, but who knows? We go long. Algorithms love it when we go a little longer. So I did this study. And so Valentine's Day, like most holidays we celebrate today, have roots that run deep through our centuries, right? So when new religions were born, like Christianity, at way back when Christ came and all that, new religions were born in the 100th century, their followers often adapted and transformed their traditional festivals to smooth the transitions from their one religion to another. Right? Makes sense. So Christmas coincides with the pagan winter solace. Easter evolved from the Babylonian goddess Ishtar spring festivals, and Valentine's Day is no different. So here's what it is. So the ancient Roman festival of Lupercalia, and this is all new for me, and hopefully it's new for you because we're learning. The ancient Roman festival of Lupercalia was observed on the 13th and 15th of February. All right. To celebrate the she-wolf, Lupa. You ever heard of the she-wolf Lupa?
I have not.
Okay, that's new for the Gypsy Chick, who nurtured the founders of Rome, Romulus, and Remus, although some sources differ on this a little bit. So here is the original. You ready for this? Ready for this? To begin the festival of Lupercalia, priests would enter the cave that once housed the she-wolf and sacrificed animals at the altar that stood within. Watch this. The skins of the animals would then be turned into thongs
Okay.
for men to run around in as they whipped people in the streets. Romans were just weird. So this is what love is all about, Gina. Gypsy Chick, I just wanted to kick this off because I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh gosh.
You an opening question. What is love all about to you? Now that you know the heritage of whipping men, whipping people in the streets in dead wolf clothing thongs.
Yeah.
What's love all about to you, Gina? What's Valentine's? What kick me off? Give me what's Valentine's mean to you?
Well, I have to tell you, and I think you've heard me say this, and people that kind of follow me and know me personally know that I really have never been a fan of Valentine's Day.
Oh, so should I take my red coat off?
No, leave it on. You look great. But I really haven't, because of the commercialization behind it. You know, I'm of the thought belief that I would rather have you bring me flowers on any given Tuesday and do something nice for me, instead of on a day that everyone tells you should.
Yeah.
You know, but with that being said, I've come around since, being with my husband, Chad, and I've softened to it. And now we're celebrating it, and we have for the last few years. And I feel a lot better about it. But it took me a while. It took me a while to get there.
Is he romantic?
He is. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he is.
Do tell. I want to know.
What do you want?
Give me one romantic thing Chad would do. Come on.
So early on, this is something that sticks out in my head, and we still do this. But early on in our relationship, we were just hanging out, talking on the couch. We're still in that stage of getting to know one another, and we had music playing because music is our love language. And a song came on, and he grabbed my hand and pulled me up from the couch, and we slow danced in the living room, which was the sweetest thing, the most romantic thing, I think, that stands out to me.
I hate this dude.
And he still does it today. So, yeah, he's romantic.
Oh, this is awful. So listen, so he can sing.
He can sing.
And he can dance too?
He can dance too. Yeah, he's a singer that can dance.
All right. So did you see him dance before you married him or not?
Oh, yeah. Because that was important to me, because I love music and I like to dance. So I'm like, if he's not a good dancer, it's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, so the reason I'm diving into Chad is because I know Chad a little bit.
Sure you do.
Thank you for having us at your wedding. And, this is an intimate
yes.
relationship between my family and their family and work. And it's one of those unusual things that, Chad and I have love, friendship, and we even fight. I mean, like we're serious bromance in some regards, because we hit every pillar of relationship. So I just kind of like to dive in, because I watched your show yesterday, and your show yesterday, oh man, it was like, what are they doing? I'm like, what are they doing? No, really, what is going on here? And I couldn't stop watching it, because to me, it really epitomized this idea of Valentine's Day, or this idea of men running around in thongs, whipping people in the street. No, that's a joke. It has nothing to do with anything. My point, the matter is like, you guys like turn Valentine's almost on its head, because you were celebrating this idea of modern, interesting love. And can you just share a little bit about what what you talked about yesterday, because I don't want to get into areas that you don't want to talk about what you didn't mean. And there was nothing wrong with it. It was just that you're on your second marriage. And, I just thought you were really brave to talk about how your love is actually still growing and how this manifested itself. And so I just would like to share, because this is a piece of the attractive side of the show, the Gypsy Chick, the Gypsy Chick. I got to get it right. Chad's going to kill me. But here's the thing. I don't know where you can get a more real, thoughtful show. I mean, even in the big shows, I don't care. I mean, Gina has Oprah type qualities to her mindset, right? No, you do.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not calling you Oprah. I'm just saying.
I know. I just take that as that's a big compliment.
Well, I mean, you're not afraid to go deep. So give us a little bit about what spawned that show. Set the listener up on the show and what your approach to that show was. And then just unpack that for me a little bit, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, I think basically what inspired us to get on there and talk about it. And we talk all the time privately, like we should be doing some things together that talk about relationships because of, like you said, I love how you call it this modern family, modern relationships that you have, that we're now putting together. And so we talk about it, and I just felt, well, let's just do this. And I get a lot of women who I think I appeal to women more than men. And most of my clients that I coach are women. And it's about people asking us, how do you do this over again? What's that look like when you find yourself in a situation where you have been divorced or had a relationship and now you're embarking on new ones? And, a lot of people are fearful and they're unsure. And so I think based on people coming to us and asking those questions, we just thought we kind of have something to lend. There's things because that's the whole purpose, right? Is to teach and be connected. And that's why I created my, the Gypsy Chick platform, because that's, to me, I mean, we're all created for connection. That's what love is. We're supposed to be in relationship together. So, and I think from Chad, he gets a lot from his male friends that might be in the same situation, asking questions. And so we thought, let's talk about that and let's be honest about and transparent about what that looks like and what it can look like, and hopeful, because so many people want to put, there's no good men or women out there. How do you find, love again? What's this look like? So that's what prompted us to do it.
Right. But I think all your shows have a really honest, I'm not going to call it low energy. I'm just going to call it an honest energy, an honest, smooth energy in your show that allows a listener to really understand, or what I would say, unpack. Now, one of your shows in the past that I made fun of it. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
Not people, to myself. But it's funny how I made fun of it to myself, but it sits in me all the time.
Oh.
Right. And it wasn't the whole show. It was this comment you kept saying, well, I'm just going to sit in it. Do you remember that show? Do you remember that show?
I do.
And I'm like, what? Who sits in it? I gotta go. I have no time to sit in anything. This is not wisdom. This is a fugazi. This is a farcery. And I come back. I'm like, sit in it. And I'm driving down the road. Sit in what? Who is she to tell me to sit in it? Sit in what? And so this whole sit in it thing just kind of started to stir in me. And I'm like, oh, man. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should just sit in it. And so I had a thing. I can't give you the details of what had happened later. This is must be several months ago. I don't know how long ago the show was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you remember it.
I do.
And I was stressed out, and I'm like, you know what, bro? Why don't you just sit in it? And so I let it. Basically, what I took from that show is that sometimes, Todd, you need to let stuff come to you. Mm-hmm. Right. You you being whatever, wired differently, your name says it all, right?
Yes.
You need to let some things come to you. And so I want to give you props, because I know that sometimes doing these shows, we have one listener, we have 20 listeners, we have so many follows, we don't have follows. And we say we don't care, but we do. We want to impact people, and we can't have them. Thank you, everybody, for being on this morning. Wow. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for the viewers. Thank you, listeners. If you need to understand, this is Gina Michael, the Gypsy Chick. You can follow her show on what are the days, real quick?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, I do Lunchtime Live.
Lunchtime Live, Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're going to give her another shout out by the end of the show. And she is just kind of sharing with us some of her past shows. I'm sharing with her some of the things that I've picked up from her on her shows. But obviously, I learned through her with Chad. Chad and I talk, and a lot of times you come up on what your vision on certain things are. So you are transcending a lot of people. So you need to understand that you are valued. Your sit in it philosophy is working on the wired differently, Todd. So I had this topic. What does love have to do with it? Well, I said, what does love got to do with it? I think that was a song. Tina Turner, maybe. What's love got to do with it? Got to do with it. And so I have all these questions for you, and I don't even know if we're going to get to them.
Okay.
But I am going to give you a quiz.
Okay.
A quiz that before this morning, I would have failed.
Okay.
So I expect you to fail.
Okay. Perfect.
How many Greek words are there for love?
9.
8. Very good.
Okay.
Way closer than me. I had 4.
I always just feel like there's a lot with Greek wording.
Their potato salad. What else do they have? Their salads, Greek food, Greek salads, whatever. They're extra. Greeks are extra, right?
In a good way.
Well, yeah, of course. But so a lot of our language comes from Greek terminology. And so we kind of think, what's love got to do with it? And we're like thinking of love, 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 love. And the Bible, not to leave the Bible out, the Bible actually mentions a lot. 2 of these 8 words for love that Greek has. And there's actually 4 that preface in the Bible, but 2 are in the Bible. Agape love, which I'm sure you're familiar with. Mm-hmm. And then philia love. It's pronounced philia. F-I-L-I-A is how you pronounce it, but P-H-I-L-I-A, philia, is the brotherly love. So agape love and philia love are the 2 loves that are in the Bible, but there's 4. There's the storge love and the eros love. So the most popular 4 terms of love out of the Greek vernacular are agape, eros, storge, and philia. Now, these 4 are the premise or the building blocks of love biblically and for us in our lives, because we kind of just, in our language, Gina, we think, okay, I love this, I love that, you love me, I love you, all that kind of stuff. But we just kind of throw it all into one word. So there's 8 words. And so I'm going to quiz you. Agape love. You got it? You know what that is?
I mean, I feel like, listen, you're a master level Christian. I'm a toddler.
Okay. So I'm not a master. I enjoy I enjoy what I do, and I get up every morning and I study it and I prepare for a show. So I got a big hand. I'm like, I didn't know all this stuff until I started studying some of it. So agape love is unconditional love.
Yeah.
So unconditional love. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a Greek word.
Okay.
And I'll explain to what it means in love. And then you've got to the first thing that pops in your mind, you've got to tell me what in your life represents that type of love.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm on the hot spot. Okay.
Got all my red on. The donut capital of the world. I digress. Ready? The first of 8 Greek words.
Okay.
Agape. Unconditional love. Go.
Well, for me, that's spiritual. That's the love of the Holy Spirit.
Yes. Unconditional love. Very good. That means we talked about it yesterday, and it was this idea of pray for those who persecute you. Agave love. It's a tough one, man. Good one. Good one. All right. You ready for this one?
I don't know.
You are. You're going to be ready for this one. Chad's ready for this one. Eros love. That is romantic love. Go.
Well, obviously my husband. So and yesterday I called him. He's like,
all right.
I love sound effects. That's awesome. I need one of those.
Oh man. Oh, okay. So here we go. All right. The next one is storge love. Storge. It's spelled Storge.
Okay.
And I say it Storgay. Storge.
Okay.
And that is loyalty, duty, responsibilities, peaceful, and uncomplicated. So when I think of all these words in Greek and love, that's the one I associated with you is storge. So storge love. Ready? Go.
I think for me, that'd be more like for your children. That's like parental relationship.
Loyalty, duty, response. Yeah, you'd have all those things towards your children for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it's a broader spectrum of that, like for your workplace. Think about like owing somebody. You feel like you owe somebody. You're loyal to them. Very good. Certainly your children fall into that category. Okay. The fourth one I've got of the biblical Greek words, and we're going to go to the advanced one. Philia is a Greek word for brotherly love. Brotherly love. Give me an example of brotherly love in your life.
Well, I mean, it kind of goes with the topic that we were going to talk about. Yeah, we were going to talk about, but I just think it's loving everyone, whether you agree. You use the term in kind of your talks past couple of days about agreeing with something, like you don't have to agree with it to love people. And I think for me, it's more about even the understanding. It's like you may not understand someone, but we're called to love. And so it's in that I find for me, that's what it speaks to me. It's just loving even those that we don't necessarily understand.
Yeah. And I think what you're touching on there is the hardest piece is the love. We're called to love the people that we don't like.
Yes. Or understand.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here we go. The last four here are, a lot of you will never heard of these. Philotia, a self-worth love. And I'll just kind of take you through these. Philotia, self-worth love. It's a Greek word for loving yourself, right? And I think you could do a whole show on that because give me a little, I mean, I shouldn't cut you off on this one. The self-worth love, Philotia love.
This is my wheelhouse right here.
This is your jam, right?
Yeah.
So
And it's
now you can use this word.
Yeah, it's yours too. It's your jam too. So it's, I think we both talk about this and it's very common for, yes, we're very different, but at the core, there's a lot of similarities. So one of the things that you really talk about in what you do and you coach and your ministry is identity. And that's one of my big things too. That's the first big thing is you have to know who you are. And so I talk a lot about that because if you don't know who you are, you can't go much further than that. Yeah. So identity is very, very important. Wow. And most of us don't know who we are.
Yeah. I have a quote that I would love for you to do a show on, is that we need to be willing to change who we are to become who we want to be.
That's good.
No, it's stupid, right? Because I got goosebumps just when you smiled, but because I've seen Chad change over the last year and a half. I mean, yeah. From the first time, we started talking about you, then the marriage, and then obviously the back and forth traveling. And it's hard. I mean, I've traveled my whole life. I've been married almost 40 years, and I have spent a disproportionate amount of time on the road, and it's not ideal. You have to have a special presence of God and forgiveness and mercy and grace to make something that help have that work.
Yes.
So the self-worth is, we need to be willing to change who we are to become who we want to be. That doesn't mean we need to leave who we are. It just means, like, sometimes, we want to be something different than when we were born at. Like, our environment doesn't exactly make us, but it does mold us. And so I know you have a family, I know you have children, and some of them, all of my children, start one place, and just because they grew up in whatever we had doesn't mean that that's what they're supposed to be.
Right.
Like, I only had one child out of 4 that wants to do business. What's wrong with those other 3 kids, right? But they are willing to say, this is a whole show. I love it. I can't wait for you to, I want to watch that show. I love it. Like, come on that show with you. Okay, so progma is the patient love, right? The patient love.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more. Ludus is the playful love, right? The playful love, the uncommitted playful love, which, and last but not least, ready for this one? Mania love.
Oh.
Really, right? Crazy obsessive love. All right. Well, so it's Valentine's Day. Our show is doing great. We're at our time. We're going to go a little long, but I want you to do right now a commercial, a little bit about your show, what maybe your next show is going to be, how people can find you, and when do I get to be on your show?
Well, oh my gosh. I don't know how deep to go or where to start, but anyway, my background is I have a BSW in social work and an MSW in social work, and I'm a licensed social worker. And so that's my background. That's where I'm coming from with what I'm trying to, I guess, do with my Facebook Lives and just my Facebook page. I am definitely about relationships. I think we're created for connection. I think we need to be in community. I definitely feel like identity is a very important, personal responsibility, healthy boundaries, and self-love. Those are kind of the things that I focus in on when I'm working with clients or what I'm putting out on my pages. And kind of, I've got a couple little taglines that I use, like "You belong here," because I want everybody to feel comfortable coming to my page and being a part of the community. No one's excluded. And, I come from a place of, I'm beautifully broken, but I'm heroically healed. And that's, another just place that I'm coming from. So you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram. I am doing lives right now. I did do some podcast episodes in the past, and I need to do more. And, you inspire me. You inspired my lunchtime lives because you get on here every morning and you're full of energy. And, I even said, like, you are the energy guy. And then I'm more of the calm, I love your analogy. I'm a Tesla, which is interesting.
You are a Tesla. Come on.
I'd rather be a Jeep, but it's okay.
Yeah, but Jeep's got motors. You're smooth, right? You're level.
I don't know, but
You can be anything you want to be in this day and age. You can be a Jeep and sound like a Tesla. I'm good with it.
But you inspired me to do that, and I need to do that. And I'm just, I try to be as transparent and authentic and as vulnerable as I can be, because we're all just trying to be better. We're trying to be that 1% better. And if I can help anyone do that, that's, I just feel called. I feel called to do it. I worked in schools. I started out as a school social worker, working in schools with kids and families. And then I ended up at the School for the Blind and Visually Impaired in Indiana. And then, I transplanted to the Fort Wayne area, and I did private Christian counseling for just shy of a year. And then I decided to kind of go out on my own and make my own path. And so now I'm doing that through coaching with just private clients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where can they find you at?
So On Facebook, it's the Gypsy Chick, and it's a capital
Gypsy
T.
Chick.
Yeah, and I'll go in and put it in the comments section after.
Someone put that in there right now. Someone put someone help us out. We got lots of people on here, lots of comments. Holy cow.
So it's a capital T and then lowercase, the Gypsy Chick, all together.
Gypsy Chick.
Yeah.
Okay, so I give you a couple comments here. Wow. Nice jacket. Okay, that one's not for you. You're killing it, Gina. Good morning, Gina. Good morning, Gina. Good morning. Great to see you. Brian, peaceful, calm approach, and so many people connect with its qualities and old soul. Brian Dickman's calling you an old soul.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah. Brian's called me other things than old soul.
Well, and I want to say, like, listen, you and Tracy are, Chad and I look at you guys as mentors because of your love and your marriage and your relationship. And you guys have a beautiful marriage, and the way that you are committed and purposeful and intentional with one another. And you have these beautiful daughters, and we love your daughters, and all the way down to your little grands. And, you've inspired me. You've inspired us personally and professionally. And I see, like, even in your business, talking about love is about relationships. It's about relationship building, right? And you do that through your business too. You have this incredible team around you, and that's not by accident. Mm-hmm. It's about the relationships. It's about who you guys are as a couple and as a family. And that's always impressed me about you guys, is that you don't get those kind of people around you if your heart is not pure and your intentions are not pure.
Well, I'm a little uncomfortable, which is okay.
Because you're not comfortable with people washing your feet.
Yeah. I would rather wash someone's feet than that was my whole topic with you, was like,
I know.
I'm going to ask you the question right now. Would you rather, like, so I got to get it out. Listen, I want to tell you, Margaret says, great job. Alice says, great. Priscilla says, great. Angela, oh my gosh, she's loving you. Wire Differently fam. Nicole's back on here again. Greg saying, great subject today. I mean, we got 50 comments here. Listen, you're good for ratings. Okay, so here's the thing.
Okay.
We're going to end the show.
Okay.
What does love got to do with it, Gina? You watched the two shows prior. You had an idea of them. Mm-hmm. And this whole washing of feet, I'm just going to tell you, it has everything to do with love. Jesus not only had his feet washed by a sinning female who came into into a home where he's having dinner, and she wept, and the tears from her face dropped on his feet, and she washed his feet with her tears and her hair, and he let her do that, right? So Jesus let someone wash his feet. Mm-hmm. Not a problem. That's kind of easy to understand. He's Jesus, right?
Right.
But the flip side, at the very end, the last miracle Jesus ever really did, I call it the last miracle. Someone's going to call me out on it. Last miracle he ever did was rise from the dead. But just before he rose from the dead, he literally said, listen, bros, 12 of you, come over here. I'm going to wash all your feet. They're like, oh, geez, Jesus, why do you always got to pull stuff like this? And he's like, listen, do what I say. I'm the king. So everybody lets him wash their feet except for Peter. Peter's like, no, man, I'm not letting the king of the world wash my feet. Mm-hmm. And Jesus says, hey, if you don't let me wash your feet, I'll have no part of you. So then Peter likes all into it. He's like, listen, man, all right. Then wash my head, wash my shoulders, wash my arms. And Jesus says, slow roll that, man. Like, you took a bath. You don't need all that. Listen, I'm just washing your feet. I always wonder if they were laughing at Peter when he did that around the Last Supper. They had to have some fun, right? So anyways, Jesus washes everybody's feet. But the story I want to give to you, the fact here is that realizing of the 12 disciples that Peter's washed their feet, one of them was Judas Iscariot. And Judas Iscariot was the man, the disciple that betrayed Jesus. that Jesus, at the very end of the feet washing, was going to be hauled out by the guards to be crucified. Jesus knew Judas Iscariot had betrayed him. Jesus washed his feet also. So the question I have with you to close this show up, uncomfortable as it may be, would you rather have your feet washed or would you rather wash someone's feet? Are you more comfortable in either of those?
Instinctively, I would say I would be more comfortable washing someone's feet because my spiritual gifts are I'm an advocate first, then I'm a server, and then I'm a teacher. So serving people is where I'm more comfortable. The reason, I'm going to tell you the reason, because the act of washing feet is an act of ultimate intimacy. And in order for us to be that intimate with someone means we have to remove the armor, we have to remove the mask, we have to peel back all the layers, and we have to be exposed for someone to see who we truly are inside.
Right.
And so that takes courage and bravery. And that is like running down the street naked.
Yeah, maybe worse. And here's the thing. We're going to bring in, but here's how the whole show comes full circle. The act of washing feet really is the only act that I could think of that demonstrates all 8 Greek words for love.
You're right. Spot on.
Spot on. Well, that's something, guys, for you all to think about. What a great show. I'm moved at this moment. Heavenly Father, thank you for Gina. Thank you for Chad. Thank you for all your listeners out there. We just pray that their life is beautiful. We pray that all the lives out here are beautiful. And on this Valentine's Day, that we can find love the way you want it for us, for you and for those around us. Thank you, Jesus. In your name, we ask these things. Amen.
Amen.
First time I ever prayed on a closing. You inspire me, Gina, the Gypsy Chick.
Thank
Hey, everybody. Have a great day.